Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with your Monday to Friday update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. Bitcoin is moving sideways today, another small range inside session, so this analysis doesn't really change much, but we'll have a look at what's happening with on-balance volume today. We had downward movement, sideways movement and a small flag pattern. Flags and pennants are relatively reliable continuation patterns when they form properly. Price broke out of the flag by closing below it, back test of resistance, moving down and away. The target from the flag is 34,530. I still think that's too low. In order to have any confidence whatsoever in that target, I would like to see a good close below support at 38,500, 38,000 even. There's a bit of a zone about 38,500, 38,000. Price is now moving sideways for the last 2 to 3 sessions, finding resistance just below 41,100, support about 38,500. A hammer candlestick pattern a couple of sessions ago suggests a potential trend change, but as I explained yesterday, it's not telling us if we're going to have a change to a full-on upward trend or a change to a little bit of sideways movement. Price is moving slightly higher within the last 2 green candlesticks, but it does not have push from volume. The problem here is it's really hard to identify lows for cryptocurrencies. They quite often start off quite weak off their lows, and it's not for a few days or even weeks that they start to exhibit strength in volume. Makes lows really hard to identify. We do have a weak bullish signal from on-balance volume though, so that suggests we might be about to get an upward breakout from the little sideways movement of the last 2 to 3 sessions. However, this yellow resistance line that's been broken only has 3 prior touches. So it's only got a few touches, it's not long held, and it has some slope. So this is a weak bullish signal. It's a suggestion of a potential upward breakout, but it's not a strong enough signal for me to be really confident of it. ADX is telling us there's still a downward trend in place and there's a very long way to go before it gets extreme. RSI is still in neutral, there's a ways to go before it reaches oversold, so if price can break below support at 38,500, then look for support about 35,500. The Elliott Wave count for Ethereum remains the same, and I still don't have really good confidence in this breach of this channel. This looks weak. And again, this candlestick here remains inside the candlestick of 2 sessions prior. I want to see a red candlestick outside below not touching this channel, and I want to see it with downward movement, so I need to see a new low below 2165.34 in order to get rid of this count and label my Newt 2 continuing lower. My Newt 2 could continue lower as an expanded flat. I would move the degree of labeling here within the double zigzag down 1 degree, and I'd say A, B and C to move below the end of A, so a new low below 2092.33 would be expected for that idea. For now, I'm going to label this another first and second wave correction until proven otherwise. Because it's possible my Newt 2 may not have been over here as a relatively brief and shallow combination, it could move lower. I leave the invalidation point down here at 1521.78. At the daily time frame for Ethereum, it may be forming a hammer candlestick pattern today with a very tiny upper wick and quite a long lower wick. Really small range body, so it could be a dragonfly doji if the body turns out to be really small, but so far potentially a hammer. And that's a bullish reversal pattern. It's coming in the context of price finding support just above 2,100. So we're looking for indication that this pullback is over. Assume the trend remains the same until proven otherwise. There is a downward trend in place indicated for Ethereum from ADX. Assume the trend remains the same until we get a very obvious bullish candlestick pattern followed by some upward movement. Price is moving lower and sideways for the last 2 sessions with declining volume, so price is falling of its own weight within these sessions. ADX is rising, it's above 15, the negative DX line is above the positive, so ADX tells us there is a downward trend in place for Ethereum at this time. RSI is neutral, it's not oversold. There's room for this trend to continue before it gets extreme and RSI reaches oversold. There's also room for it to continue before money flow reaches oversold, although this one tends to not get that deep for downward movements. There's quite a strong decline in ATR as price is moving lower, so this downward movement has weakness in terms of volume and volatility. Volume and volatility quite strongly suggest this is a counter trend movement within an upward trend. This is the bigger picture for Ethereum from the low in June 2022. Over a year, Ethereum has put in a series of higher highs and a series of higher lows. That is your basic definition of an upward trend. In order for that pattern to be broken, we'd need to see a lower low below 1531.48. Assume the trend remains the same until proven otherwise. Following this big ascending triangle and upward breakout, we're having back tests of support. Let's expect that that's most likely to hold and price is most likely to move up and away toward the triangle. Target 3347. In the Elliott Wave count for XRP, I am going to put some labels today into my minor wave C. If this is correct, this wave count sees a zigzag continuing lower for intermediate wave 2, subdividing 5, 3, 5. Minor wave C needs to complete as a 5-wave structure. That's either an impulse or an ending diagonal, and so far it may have begun with a series of 1, 2, 3 overlapping first and second waves. We need to see the end of these 3 third waves and counterpart fourth wave corrections, which may not move into their counterpart first wave price territories. Minus C would be extremely likely to move at least slightly below the end of A at 0.4456 to avoid a truncation. The target would see that achieved. The target for support is 0.4094 to 0.34447. That is where intermediate 2 would reach 80 to 90% the depth of intermediate wave 1, and that is a very normal depth for a large degree second wave correction for a cryptocurrency. It's really normal to have deep pullbacks along the way up within a bull market. The daily time frame, XRP's put in a hammer candlestick pattern 2 sessions ago and may be completing another one this session. This adds a little bit of doubt to my Elliott Wave count that expects price to continue lower, because now around these lows we've got 1, 2, 3 and potentially, if it closes as a hammer, 4 hammer candlestick patterns. When you see reversal patterns appearing in clusters, it adds more weight to the idea that you're going to get a full 180-degree reversal and not just some sideways movement. So each subsequent bullish reversal pattern happening above support about 0.4875 gives us a fairly decent indication that XRP may be forming a low here very, very soon. So that's not what my Elliott Wave count expects. Price is moving sideways and slightly lower overall with declining volume. Price falls of its own weight within these sessions. Downward volume is not very strong, and we're also seeing a decline in volatility. Just like Ethereum, XRP, there is weakness in this downward sideways movement. It looks like a counter trend movement within an ongoing upward trend. ADX tells us there's a downward trend underway. It's not extreme. It has to get above 45 and above both DX lines before it would be considered very extreme and potentially in danger of reversing. RSI is not yet oversold, but it's pretty close. So for XRP, the low might be coming sooner rather than later. Money flow still neutral and not oversold. That's it from me today with your quick update. I hope everyone's having a lovely day.